guessing that guy who drove by might have been a cop. Because just before Jake and I were walking out to the living room, I heard the front door slam, and when Jake and I reached the dining room from our room, Charles came and walked right past me, in front of me. So it's a proximity thing. Or he's got to say that he had contact with me on a daily basis and got my consent. He hadn't. And as soon as my alarm went off this morning at 6:30, very same time my alarm went off, Darlene got a text message in her room. She jumped out of bed and ran into the bathroom at 6:30 and started running bath water. She did that. By herself. Jake and I hadn't even gotten out of bed, and she ran into the bathroom and ran bath water, and went back into her room, ran the bath water for the longest time. Had to been full to the max. I got it and went in the kitchen and I took a plastic bin out of one of Jake's drawers, these little plastic drawers that I bought him from Walmart for like $12, $15. And filled it with hot water. And when I was walking back to our room, Darlene was standing in Darlene's bedroom door, waited till I entered the hallway to go to my room, and she bopped out of her room to match my movement, closed her bedroom door, and ran into the bathroom wearing a nightgown that was up her ass. Just a nightgown, flimsy little thin thing that was up her ass. So I guess she was being sexy for Charles. It's real colorful, wasn't lingerie per se, but real thin cotton, real short upper ass. Thank God Jake wasn't in the hallway. I took the plastic bin into Jake and I covered my whole body with a blanket. He covered my head and everything so I couldn't see him. And Jake bathed himself with the plastic bin in hot water that I provided him, brushed his teeth and washed his face. He didn't get to wash his hair. And then Jake covered himself with his blankets. And I used a wash rag and washed myself, put on deodorant, changed tampon, and brushed my teeth and washed my face. Shaved my chin and got dressed. And then Jake and I grabbed the laundry and headed out. And as soon as Jake and I started, like I said, the whole thing with Charles at the front door. He'd gone outside and he was just standing there waiting at the door. And entered as Darlene was sitting on the couch in the living room. And so what I can do is Jake and I can just sleep in our clothes for the next day. Find someplace else to take a shower or a bath. Well, we don't take baths. Jake and I always shower. We've never been the kind of people to take a bath. We're shower people. And we just get up and run out the door and brush our teeth. I'll buy a gallon of water. That's what we did when Eva was pulling this shit on us. It has to do with the exact moment that Jake and I wake up. As soon as I started to speak to Jake this morning, Charles immediately began speaking in Darlene's room. So, Charles, I think, is trying to say that I'm sleeping with him, and I'm guessing Darlene is saying that she isn't even there. The utilities are not in Darlene's name. They're in the name of someone called Elza Strange, also known as E.D. Strange. So Darlene is pretending to be me. I've never slept in Darlene's room. Jake and I have always slept in one room, because Darlene was originally going to rent me 2 rooms, and it turned to 1. And Charles walked into the kitchen to the table where there was nothing. Right as Jake and I reached the dining room with the laundry, Jake and I didn't say a word to them. Charles looked up at us quickly and looked at the table. He even halfway looked at us. And Jake and I didn't say nothing to Darlene or Charles. Neither one of them said anything to me or Jake. So there was no consent given, no nods as though Jake and I consented, and Jake and I did not engage in any form of drug activity. So from 6:30 was the first text message that Darlene got on her cell phone. She got continuous text messages every 5 minutes or so, 5-10 minutes. She got about 4 or 5 text messages on her phone from 6:30 until 7:12, which was when the last one was heard. And Jake and I got in the Durango at 7:26. I dropped Jacob off at school this morning at 7:34 a.m. No, it was 7:36 a.m. And Darlene didn't do anything for me or Jake. All they're doing is using cell phones to fake the evidence. And they're just using the cell phone recording, is what it looks like. Like this woman that showed up at the laundromat, pulled up and got out of her vehicle right just after I'd gotten out of my driver's door. Started a cell phone call. She had a cell phone up to her ear, went into the laundromat, got changed with a phone up to her ear. She was talking in the phone. She just got changed. I didn't hear anything she said, but she got back in her car and she looked at me. She ended her cell phone call and she smiled at me as she was driving away. Driving a Marine Honda Accord, late model 4-door. So this is orchestration of somebody trying to say that they pay our expenses and supervise me and Jake, when all they're doing is faking recordings and getting snitches to lie for them, which is the reason I have to audio and video record all the time, because they're lying, and people just roll over us. Snitches, people that are willing to lie, can beat on our door and try to knock our door in like Vicky did the other day. She ain't the first person that's tried to do that. The other people that could help us are told they can't speak to me or look at me, like my cousin Jody at Target. It's stupid. It's nothing but a fabricated case. I'm jackass with a badge. Didn't want to work for a living, sucking the blood out of me and my son for money. And it's a kickback scheme for snitches. And I'm guessing Charles was undercover for the sheriff's department. I'm guessing he was a snitch so he could beat some kind of jail time. Darlene swears